First, let me do an AV confirm. All right. So we'll go ahead and call this meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, and confirming that, we'll start with roll call. I do not see Brent here. Is Brent online? Okay, no for Brent. Guy?
Here.
Ken?
Here.
Nate?
Here.
And Jeff is here. I did not see any public comment confirming. All right, so we will begin with the student council update. Welcome back.
Our Halloween bash went excellent, very well. We had a very nice turnout. A lot of kids and a lot of great feedback from parents. And our next kind of event is we're going to be doing competition, like just one singular competition because our high schoolers don't really want to participate too much in the fun things that we've been doing in the past years. So what we're going to be doing is having them decorate their homeroom teachers' doors. So, and then the winning homeroom, the 2 or 3, we'll get a donut party. And then we're gonna leave we always do a card contest, so we're gonna leave that open in case any high schoolers want to do it, but we're gonna kind of save that more for elementary. So middle and high school will be decorating their homeroom teachers' doors. And that's about it. That's what we have planned for the next month. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I agree on the Halloween event. I think it's a great event, and I love the timing, how it kind of goes before before trick or treating. So
Right,
well done.
yeah.
Has Natalie made it clear that we like treats?
No, she hasn't.
She hasn't? Wow. Okay. Did Steers make it clear that we like treats?
She did, but I forget.
Oh my goodness.
Somebody remind me next time.
Okay, well I knew Ella. I knew that Steers would let you know. I was just curious.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll make sure that
No,
happens
you're fine.
next time.
You're fine.
No, I'll make sure it happens.
You're just giving me a hard time.
How
This
dare
is
I?
just
Great
kidding.
job.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, and we will move on to celebrate Fall River. I think talk about.
We have our fall play representatives here, Mr. Keller and Ms. Holman as director and co-director. And then we've got some of our actors and actresses here, if you'd like to share. And I'm sorry, you weren't an actor, you were doing sound, weren't you?
Yeah, the light guy.
Lights.
She's pushing hard. I love it.
If you don't know me, I'm Greg Keller. It's nice to meet you all.
Nice to meet you. You're
No
very
laughs.
here.
No laughs, all right.
I would giggle.
Play director, Ms. Holman, is our new assistant director this year. This is Ms. Holman. And then students that we brought along tonight, Holly was our assistant stage manager. She is learning from Elizabeth this year to take over stage manager next year herself. Maddie was an actor. She was the woodsman during our show, and Henry was our light guy. Technically, for this production, even the stage manager or assistant stage manager had lines. Even Henry had one line. He had to say "Ready."
I got scared.
He nailed it every time. Oh, and I forgot about Lily. Lily was Kevin. Yep. Yep. So play practices started all the way back at the beginning of the school year in September. We had a couple of bumps in the road. We had an actor unable to perform with us the weekend of, and Elizabeth, our stage manager, stepped in to fill a role the week of, and the show must go on, and it did indeed go on. There were a lot of laughs the whole time. I think everyone was chuckling pretty much 100% of the play, and I think everyone enjoyed it. You guys want to say anything?
Yeah.
Ms. Holman, I prepared something.
Was this the second year of the play?
This is our second year back during the play. We had about 30 students involved this year. I can't remember how many we had last year. I think it was around 20-ish. So
I'm just happy to have a second opportunity for those kids who want to excel in the theater. They got fall play and spring musical. They got a couple of opportunities.
I seen some pictures that look cool. I was out of state, but looked really cool.
It was very funny. Caught you off guard a couple times. It's like, okay, is this really what it's supposed to be doing? Are they really screwing up? Oh no, it's just fun.
It's one of those plays where we talk to the audience a little bit. There's a couple of times where someone has to pull out a script and say, what's my line here? Or some things like that, and it was very entertaining.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you guys for
Thank you,
coming.
guys.
Awesome.
All right, we will move on to minutes. So in our packet today, we had the minutes from the October 22nd school board meeting. Any questions? Otherwise, I will take a motion to approve.
I'll approve the minutes for the October 22nd, 2025 school board meeting.
We have a motion by Nate, we have a second by Ken. All those in favor, vote aye. Aye. All those opposed. All right, we will hear treasurer's report.
What looks different from last year, I've explained that each time we've come, but the one thing that is new this time is on the second sheet, the printout from the Skyward is in the 600 level debt retirement. We budgeted $1,000 and there's $13,759 spent there. And then that's a lease. Leases are considered debt. We did not expect to lease computers. We thought they're gonna be purchases. So the money budgeted there was budgeted in the 300s, but then they spent it in lease because Jake found a better deal by leasing staff computers. So that's why that number is gonna look higher all year. Usually that debt retirement is only interest on short-term borrowing. So, no, we haven't spent $14,000 on interest on short-term borrowing, if that's what it looks like. So, no. Just want to point that out. Otherwise, everything else is similar to what we've seen last time. And I'll probably say this one last time. The 300 purchase service and fund stand are high because we are doing an operating referendum. We're spending money faster on projects than we have in the past.
All right, any questions for Dennis? All right, hearing none, I will hear a motion to approve or to accept the treasurer's report.
For a motion for Jeff to accept the treasurer's report.
We have a motion by Ken. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
We have a second by Guy. All those in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. All right, and we had the detail in our packet for both payroll and vouchers. So having reviewed, I will go ahead and make a motion to accept payroll for November 28th and December 15th, and vouchers 428353 through 428461, and 2025-00142 through 2025-00212, and 252-600-047 through 252-600-075, in the amount of $366,234.38. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Motion by Jeff, seconded by Nate. All those in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. And anybody, you can come and go if you, as I know some of you are here for the first thing. But we will move on to gifts and donations.
So we had some donations to FFA, Skills USA, and Robotics by Lost Lake Acres, Fall River Foundry, Mickelson Feed Company, EK Machine, Duffy Grain, and Farmers and Merchants Union Bank. A generous greenhouse donation by Corteva.
Can I
Corteva?
jump in
I
on
don't-
that one really quick?
Yes.
So, Corteva is the parent company of Pioneer, and so it's actually came from my son-in-law's company. He sells seed corn for Pioneer, and he put us up for this grant, and we were able to receive it. So I'm pretty happy about that. Just so you kind of know that connection piece of it, why we were able to get that money.
That's cool.
And then PPO donated, they bought some Christmas trees for the elementary. Elementary usually has a Christmas tree that they decorate in a theme every year, and most of those trees were donated and kind of starting to fall apart, so PPO was able to get new trees for all of them this year.
Real or fake?
Fake. Yes.
Probably a good idea.
And they're planning, they're planning on buying tubs for all of them so that afterwards they can all be organized real nice, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we will move on to an education committee update.
I don't have my notes, Jeff, so if you would help me out.
Yeah, so doing this from memory, so we had two classes proposed.
So, and I don't know if you guys wanna cover it, so one was a
Want me
band.
to jump in? I got
go
it right
ahead.
in front of me, no problem.
Band,
Okay.
I know that.
We had 2 classes proposed. The first one was College Reading and Writing 2. So we have some juniors who kind of accelerated through some of the English courses that we have. So this will be for students who are most likely college bound and would like another advanced English course for next year. So we're adding College Reading and Writing 2. Mrs. Book will be teaching it. Mrs. Hayden, our instructional coach, had taught something very similar in the past, so they will work together to ensure that our materials and curriculum and everything is ready to go by the beginning of next school year. We will take some course requests, and we will just make sure that we have enough students that are requesting that course before we run it, since we do have a variety of options for those students. So it's we will probably run this class, but it's not a we have to run it. We'll see how our numbers look in the spring. The other one is the high school band and choir in Richmond. So right now, our students go in a block period. They go to band for half of it and then to choir for half of it. And so if you do, say, just band all year long, you would get a half a credit. Instead, students can still do band and choir if they would like, but if they are only in band, they can then be enrolled in band enrichment. And so then those students will have an opportunity to earn a whole credit for band or a whole credit for choir throughout the year instead of just a half a credit. So that's kind of a change that Mr. Keller and Mrs. Schroeder brought to us, and we thought it would be really nice. And those students will then have an opportunity to practice some things, maybe solo ensemble pieces, or other things where they would be working on more of a small group basis with the instructor, so Mr. Keller and Mrs. Schroeder. So those are the 2 that we brought to the group.
Yeah, and I do like to see the expansion of classes, the more options, and I think just as we've kind of adjusted the schedule this year to add the study hall, but basically creating that 8th block, it's been nice to see the different options that the kids can take. So just, I like to see those classes pop up. Any questions for the education committee? All right, with that, I will take a motion to accept the education committee report.
I'll make a motion to accept the education committee's report.
Motion by Nate, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Guy. All those in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. All right, we'll move on to building and grounds building and grounds committee.
What are we talking about, Nate?
Building and grounds, so, tonight we went over, I'll just do it, Kenny. I started it off. Tonight we went over, soft costs, budgetary stuff. We've got some great spreadsheets here as far as where we're at, plus and minus. Everybody, I guess, that's involved with the project is doing a really nice job of keeping right now under budget in a lot of areas. Bids went out to general contractors last week, and they are due back on the 15th of December, 10th of December, I'm sorry. And from there, we will sit down and go over each bid, make adjustments, figure out where we're high, where we're low, and then it'll probably go back out for a rebid again. And then we'll probably have some final stuff, I would say probably in January, yes, correct? But all in all, everything is looking good. We are real close to getting our generator cost in. I guess that's really about it right now. You have anything, Dennis? You guys want to?
All the documents that the board committee got there on the table, if someone wants to see how we're doing financially, we got 2 sheets of paper there that explain it. So.
Yep.
Yeah, and that was just to reinforce that. That was a big piece of commentary that we did get from the community when we went through referendum, was transparency into what we thought was gonna get done, what did get done, and then financially what happened. And so really like the transparency, every week or every month showing kind of this is what's changed, this is the final number. I love seeing red as an accountant, right? So I love seeing things go under budget, so red is a good thing in this case. So so definitely love the transparency for the referendum items. All right, I'll take a motion then to accept the Building and Grounds Committee report.
I'll make a motion to approve Building and Grounds Committee report.
I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion by Guy, seconded by Nate. All those in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, and I know referendum report kind of blends together there, but
That last report was the referendum report.
perfect. All right, we will then move on to fall activities report and new business. I think I saw Abby.
Do you guys want me to do the fall activities report and the hockey co-op together? Since I am here? Okay.
Yes.
So fall activities report, do you guys have the wording in your packet of all the summaries and stuff? Okay, perfect. So the season summaries were given to me and Colleen, and we were able to get those out. We do have a social media post going out to acknowledge all of our all-conference nominees and our first and second team all-conference for our fall student athletes. Our numbers were good this year. Football was pretty average, about 30. High school was about 17 from Fall River, pretty equal from Rio. Middle school, we had about 30, 20 from Fall River, a little bit less from Rio, but that was 6th through 8th grade too. So we didn't have, Rio, I don't think, had any 7th graders. So we're hitting that wave, but opposite for us and Rio. And then cross country, we had 6 middle schoolers and 3 high schoolers. Rio had more as well. Possibility of looking into adding on to our co-op for that, but that's in the future for next year. And then for volleyball, our numbers were great. We had 20 middle schoolers, and we didn't have to bring up any 6th graders this year, so that's just 7th and 8th grade. And then we had 26 for high school as well. Our seasons kind of ended a little bit shorter than what we all probably wanted them to end, but I have really good high hopes for our future for both football and volleyball for future years. We have good numbers coming up in our programs, and I think our coaching staffs are really gonna look at some of the things and tweak some things and kind of build the culture of our programs up. And then for clubs, so we had Fall Trap this year. We co-op with Columbus, I believe Beaver Dam as well, and Poinet. And so we had 20 total in our Fall Trap Club, 16 just Fall River kids. So that's really good. Mark's great with trap, and he's been building it. So we're looking at probably more numbers come spring because that's the actual competitive season. And then rec sports, we had 3rd and 4th grade, 5th and 6th grade volleyball. We had 5 teams total with 37 kids. 3rd and 4th grade and 5th and 6th grade both finished 1st and 2nd in our league, which was great for volleyball for them, for those kids. And then padded rec, we had 11 Fall River kids, 18 total in the program. That's 4th and 5th grade. And then our flag football program, we do K through 3rd grade. The football team kind of let that go this year, which is totally fine. Me and Jared picked it up with some parent coaches, and we had a great time with those kids Saturday mornings. We had 30 total kids in that program, so it was fun. Other than that, fall sports is pretty much wrapped up now, and then we're rolling into winter sports. Boys basketball numbers are a little bit lower, but our rec basketball numbers are really high. We have 43 right now for 3rd through 8th grade. So we have good numbers coming up. We're just hitting a lull right now with that freshman class coming in for boys sports. High school girls numbers are at 19, so both JV and varsity for them. And then middle school boys, we have 18 out, and that's just 7th and 8th grade as well. So we didn't have to bring up 6th grade for that. Our wrestling co-op just started. New thing with them this year, they're not using Prairie Street Complex. They're actually using the cardio balcony. So that way they have access to the cardio equipment, the weight room, and the pool once it gets opened as well. So they're excited about that. It's kind of a trial year to see how it goes. But that frees up space for Prairie Street, for the batting cages, and for rec practices as well, for rec basketball practices. And then, let's see, rec girls basketball, we have about 3 weeks left. We're at 33 kids. We have a low class for 7th grade, but I think coming in, we're gonna have good numbers for that. Fall River is top 3 in each age group right now for rec basketball, which is really cool. And then boys basketball registration, like I said, ended today. We have 43 kids total. I'm sure I'll get a couple more, and that'll start up here mid-December. We already have some teams doing some open gyms for that. So, I guess for hiring stuff, volleyball, we put the head coach position out there, so that's on weekend. So we're looking at that, and then had our football end of season meeting with Coach Haas, and we're going to be opening 2 assistant positions for high school. So that's my fall sports report. Any questions?
Anything to note on referees? Like, are you able to get, I know it was tough for a while. It seems like we've caught up. Are we able to get enough referees?
I have made good connections with some of the referees. It's nice that my husband's also a referee, so, and, you know, that time I can always call and be like, hey, I need you as a backup. It's also really nice that we are utilizing the visitor locker room for a referee locker room so that they have showers and facilities to use that we can kind of close them in. So can't wait till that's done and not under construction again, so we can continue that with those guys too. I think that's a nice piece that they really appreciate, just having somewhere to go that's solely theirs, and that, middle school is hard because of the time. So I'm actually repping some of the middle school basketball games this year, just because there are some referees that I will choose not to hire back. And I think that's just goes along with kind of the territory of some things, so. But I'm up for it. I've officiated before, so, yeah.
Okay.
And then also with having some of those student athletes ref our rec basketball ones, I think them coming up and learning this stuff too is great. And then starting the officiating coaching class for second semester will help as well. So,
Does the position for volleyball have to be advertised? Does Casey plan on filling out an application, or is she not interested in it, or?
we are opening it up, so she will just have to reapply because she
Okay.
was JV coach.
She was a JV coach, yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yep.
Is she going to reapply?
That is up in the air right now.
Okay.
Are you interested, Dave?
Me? No. Volleyball. No. No. And I ain't roughing either.
How you say?
Oh, come on.
You said no about 5
Yeah,
times.
no,
6.
no.
All right, any other questions on the fall activities report? All right, we'll just make a note that we are gonna move on to new business, section C, to discuss the hockey co-op.
So this was something that was brought up, kind of on a whim, actually. And then, Beaver Dam is kind of the host of this girls' hockey co-op. So when I reached out to him, at the time, they weren't accepting any new teams or schools into the co-op. But then he got back to me and said, we're actually redoing our whole co-op and we would like Fall River to join. So this is just strictly girls' hockey, and it will start, 26th season. So with that, I do have a co-op agreement that will need to be signed if you guys agree on it. Randolph is in this co-op, Beaver Dam, I think there's a couple other ones as well. So this is kind of fresh, but this kind of just needed to be talked about today. So my question to the AD and Beaver Dam was, what are the costs going to look like for adding this co-op? Are there extra costs to us? Do we have to pay for equipment, all that stuff? He had said that all costs are split proportionally amongst the schools based on the number of individuals from each school on the team. So it's a percentage-based cost at the end of the season. It's kind of like we do with the golf co-op with Columbus. Just add in all of the costs that go along with it, and then just divide it behind the numbers that we have that are kids in Fall River. Transportation, they will transport themselves, so we will have a self-transportation form that they will need to fill out. Parents, and if the kid is old enough to drive, includes like the license, the insurance, that kind of stuff too. And then hockey costs, they get all the gear. We supply, what did he say? We supply some stuff, but most of the stuff is their personalized gear that they use. Jerseys, that kind of stuff would be costly, you know, a cost to us. And then ice time is another thing. So Beaver Dam doesn't charge their hockey kids a fee, so a sports participation fee. The kids and crew all of their ice time costs, up to $500 per kid. So they break that down, and then they put it on the parents basically to pay that money for ice time, so that the school doesn't pay it. That's something that we'll still have to discuss depending on how many kids we have and how much ice time actually costs for their practice time. So it's a little bit different in that kind of stuff, but I think it's a good thing. I think we already youth co-ops with them already for hockey. This is kind of where it came from. that some of the kids are now gonna be in high school, so they wanna continue with that sport.
Do we have kids participating in hockey?
Mr. President, may I speak for a second?
Yeah, through the youth.
We're, Craig Lathrop, my wife
We're
Joan,
the one that
and my
started
kids.
all this.
I'm the reason that this all started. We've lived in the Fall River School District almost 15 years now. The hockey's an interesting sport. My kids started skating at 3 and 4 years old. 3 is when they can officially start being on the ice. You know, there's no other sport that they're doing in the winter time, and our options, you know, because for youth hockey, we're in the Fall River School District. That's different than WIAA. It's with WAHA. We have to go to the Beaver Dam rink or get released to go somewhere else. So we're at the Beaver Dam rink. Well, you go high school, that's WIAA, but there's no connection that you have to be, you know, there's no continuing path that's guaranteed. Our daughter's gonna be going here next year as a freshman. Our kids go to Zion in Columbus, which is the only reason they're not here, is they're at the Lutheran school, which is why we reached out to start, you know, this whole process. The other options we have as parents, if they want to continue the sport, which they've indicated, are we either open enroll to another school district, well, you know, closest would be Columbus because they're currently co-op. You go tier 1 or tier 2, which are high level and quite pricey per year, and you know, we like the school district, which is why, you know, we want our kid to be able to go here and still participate in the sport. Yeah, there's a lot of this expense in hockey compared to other sports, but it's no different than maintaining, you know, football field grasses and things like that, but that's never expensed out, you know, because most schools don't own their ice arenas, you know, so there are costs to it and stuff, but you know, our son is in 6th grade right now. He'll be coming up, and there's 2 other kids in Beaver Dam Youth Hockey. They just moved to Fall River School District last year.
Right now, there's
Mr. Burr's grandson is in this district. He plays hockey. So there are boys coming up. There might be other younger kids too that I'm not familiar with that, you know, of course, boys, girls co-ops are different, but you know, it's down the road, we'd be, you know, 1 to 2 years, they'd be looking to co-op with boys also.
Well, at Zion alone right now, there's an 8th grade girl, a 7th grade boy, a 6th grade boy,
The 3rd or 4th grade.
3rd grade boy, and a couple youngers that are already part of the Beaver Dam hockey program. So it's the footing bill of 1 girl next year.
Yeah, so, I mean, we're here to, you know, request and support for the continuation and that, you know, so we can, you know, stay in the school district so they continue their sporting path, so.
In the agenda summary, I kind of wrote some of this out there, and my last part of it is, when we look at a co-op, we want to make sure we're not taking kids away from another sport, so our numbers aren't hurt.
This is a very specialized sport.
Yes, if you're gonna.
When you get to high school, I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, you usually don't have a high schooler that wants to try out hockey for the first time as a freshman.
Very rarely.
We're not stealing anyone from a basketball team if they're gonna play hockey. They've been
Yeah.
playing hockey since 3 years old.
I've seen
They're
them
not
play
gonna
basketball.
take them away from another sport.
Yeah, and that was one of the biggest considerations we always have to take in, is it adding on a co-op or another sport gonna take away from the sports we already have, since we don't have numbers to go around for that many different things.
And compare that to students in our building.
Yeah.
No, it's a very real thing.
It's a very real thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not trying to threaten with the comment.
No,
but
No,
it's-
not,
it's
wasn't
something
taken
as
as that at all.
parents-
100% not taken like that at all.
Yeah.
No, but just in the climate that we all live in with school and money and funding, I mean,
It's a very valid reason.
very valid reason.
Some people's school choice and,
Luckily for you guys, we get the gear cost.
yeah.
And that was, you know, another, yeah, so you guys do have a lot of incurred costs that you clearly knew about coming into it as well, yeah.
It's better talking about it now than it would have been 3 days before hockey season or, you know, something like that. So to be this far out in front of it certainly makes a lot of sense.
But we know the co-op has to be done by February 1st.
Yeah,
so
no,
we wanted to-
100%. And
Yeah.
we're coming to the February board meeting thinking we were gonna sign something or the January board meeting, so being ahead of it is all
Yeah.
great stuff.
And they were very much more ahead of it
Very
than,
proactive.
Yeah.
I'm a planner.
How would the boys co-op work if there's a grandson or there's other boys, so that they.
So that would be the 27-28 school year. Would start going into it, so that would have to be done 26-27.
Right.
So,
And Fall River could choose to go to Beaver Dam, or does the WIA?
No, you can
No,
come up everywhere
you
you
can
want.
co-op,
Anywhere you want.
yeah.
Will
So
will Beaver Dam accept the boys then?
So this is a prior conversation that we have had about, well, if I'm doing a girls' sport, I also, within 3 years, Title IX, need to add a boys' sport to match. This would be the continuation of
Okay.
the whole
Also, the
program.
last time we had a boys co-op was Dwayne Tall's son.
Yeah, yeah,
Played hockey
DeForest.
DeForest.
Yeah, yep.
And I know back then, because I coached them in trap a little bit, too, and got to know them. Beaver Dam at that time, that athletic director co-op with no other schools. It was only Beaver Dam kids. And it is also Waterloo, Columbus, in addition to what you said. So,
Randolph, yeah.
they're very open to everyone that's in the skating district. Yeah, Mayville, Horicon, Dodgeland is in it.
Well, I'm sure the more people you participate, the cost gets spread around to more people for ice time. Yeah, so, I mean,
And then,
With sometimes with co-op, you don't want to put too many schools together and move up a division. Well, Beaver Dam's already Division I, so they can add as many as they want.
Yeah.
They won't, it's not like you're a D2 school and you get too many schools, now we're D1. You don't want to do that either with a co-op.
I didn't look, what's the timeframe on this? Is it a 1 year, 2 year, 3 year co-op?
It's
Two.
2-year, all co-ops are 2-year co-ops, yeah. Yeah. So once we're revisiting this, we will be adding on discussing about that.
Okay.
we can vote on it tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems
That
like-
would be great.
Seems like kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah, I'm supportive of
Yeah, no
yeah.
problem.
Yeah. Again, my only concern was the one Dennis raised, which was, would we deplete a team to the extent, and I don't see that happening with the numbers we have in middle school for both, for these sports. So.
These kids aren't playing basketball, they're playing hockey.
Yeah.
Can he sign something that the kids are coming to school here and?
We'll see how the co-op goes. I mean, we came at the end of this
Want your
spring
blood.
school year for a tour.
No.
And, because we've been in the school but hadn't gotten the tour yet. And that, it's not, I have to go to this school or that. It's like, we're in the school district, we're paying taxes here. And, I'm hearing a lot of the local community, I hear good things about the school. And it's like, the only other reason we wouldn't have come here originally was if our daughter was going to Lakeside and Lake Mills, which the Lutheran school, but then that's not apples to apples comparison. But the co-op is really gonna be help us.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All
I
right.
think our student in numbers prove out that everything that people say is probably true.
Yeah.
I mean, students in, students out.
Yeah.
That's certainly changed in the last 7 years, so.
All right, any questions on the hockey co-op? All right, well, I will then take a motion to approve the hockey co-op for girls with Beaver Dam.
I will make the motion to approve the women's hockey co-op with Beaver Dam.
We have a motion by Nate, do I have a second?
Go ahead, I'll second it, Jeff.
We have a second by Guy. All those in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, thank you.
Yeah,
Good luck.
You're welcome, yeah.
Yeah. Can you get that back to me? Come from a hockey family, so we just watch it, but.
They have games this weekend if you wanna watch.
All right, we will move on to the state report cards.
You have a very colorful paper in your packet, and I got some up there for the community wants to look at too. The ratings, the different colors underneath each category, they've changed the scale. Until 2021, the first scale was what those numbers were. So then in 2021, the numbers changed, and this year, the scale changed again. So you may have the same number 2 years, but with a different color, because it may not meet the scale. The best news about this is the banner we put on the side of the building that says Fall River exceeds expectations is still true. So that's the very top. Our score is 71.2, jumped up from last year and a little bit higher than the year before. We're the 8th out of those 18 schools at that level, and that's pretty much all the I don't know, tangerine color I'll call it. These 18 schools are those that touch Fall River, and then another concentric circle around that of schools that touch the schools that touch Fall River. And I thought that's the best way to do it. And it gives you a variety of large schools and small schools. And so in this year, you see that the ones that were in the tangerine or orange color, more than there were last year. This is a higher number than there have been in the past. But one thing I always kind of look at is small schools have a better chance to have ups and downs. You have a class of high achieving students or low achieving students that throws it up or down. But if you look from 16 and 17 on, the last 8 years, we've only had 1 year where we did not exceed expectations. And that's what kind of we're looking for, that consistency. And the only other schools in the districts that have that same consistency, I'd say DeForest has had similar consistency, and probably Poinet and Rio. Those 4 have been the most consistent over the years, because rank is just this year, but you look at all the last 8 years and you put that all together, the district has shown very, very well. You look at the elementary right below that, and there's many more elementaries that are in the tangerine or orange rating. We were the 5th out of those 18 schools in the ranking there. It's either been the exceeding or significantly exceeds every year since 16, 17. There's only 1 year that they did not exceed or significantly exceed since school report cards have been coming. And you can look for the consistency there again. Horicon's been more consistent than the elementary. But there's a number of them like DeForest and Poinet, some of the, that have been very consistent also in Rio. It's some of the same kind of schools that as district-wide are consistent there. And on the back page, it's funny how elementary has a lot orange and then high school has a lot more green. We're the 12th ranked out of this year. The score did go up 4 points from last year. It's similar to what the score was 2 years ago. So there has been improvement from last year to this year. But that kind of gives you, again, a consistency ranking. You know, 3 of the last 6 years, we've had exceeds or meets, and I guess Columbus, they fit in that same category. DeForest does not. Partyville fits in that category, and Poinet and Rio fit into that category where 3 out of the last 6 years they've been exceeding expectations. So that gives you a little snapshot. Our principals have gone deep into the weeds of the numbers that came up with this. They look at student achievement, how the kids just did across the board in their testing. They look at growth. How much did I increase? I mean, if I'm a low achieving student, how much did I increase? If Andrea's a high achieving student, how much did she increase? Because how much did each kid, wherever they were, how much did they increase? And then they look at some targeted groups. A lot of the targeted groups are special ed kids or kids who have been low performing. What have districts done for low performing kids? And then there's things, how they did on 3rd grades, reading tests, 8th grade math test, attendance, graduation rate. A number of those things go into that. But these guys have had plenty of time to start going into the weeds of how we can keep up the success we're having and make it even more further. Anything you'd like to add, ladies?
No, I think one of the one thing that is of note is we did see a drop in our free and reduced lunch rate or our socioeconomic status. So if you compare report cards, that the pie on the report card has shifted to where our overall score is weighted higher this year on achievement than it is on growth. So that is one thing that I think is notable. The other thing is we have been working really hard to hit our target population. So your target population is your bottom 25% scoring students in both math and ELA. So in a small class, it might be 4 or 5 kids. In a bigger class, it might be, 10 or 11 kids. But we've been working to strategically get interventions in place for our students who need it, while also, just getting that high level universal instruction to our students by, we're gonna talk, I'll just jump ahead a little bit. where we've been spending a lot of times doing the vertical alignment of our curriculum to figure out, okay, what are our gaps, what are we missing, and how do we make sure that we are covering all of the things that we need to make sure that we are covering within our classes for our students. Additionally, Maria and Sue Bentz and I met with Carrie from CISA. Our attendance numbers are really good. However, I always think any growth we can make is beneficial. And she helped us to learn some different ways that we can tweak the way that we are keeping attendance by counting the number of minutes within a day that a student is there and getting that put into the computer versus just saying you were here a half a day or a full day. So that is another small thing that we looked at. So we spent some time doing that.
Help me with that one. So
yeah.
how does the attendance affect? Is it the weighting of the
Yeah,
individual's
so the
test score?
attendance is factored in for both our target group population score and our on track to graduation score, so it's factored into that. So if a student, so before it would be if a student for middle school, high school missed first block, they were marked absent the entire, or like a part of first block, they would be marked absent that entire first block. Well, if they came in, say, with 30 minutes left in the block, they weren't getting credit sent out to the state for those 30 extra minutes that they were actually here. So Carrie was able to show us, I don't know, what did she call it?
It's a tool within Infinite Campus that'll calculate it for us.
So they don't have to sit there and say, okay, you were here 30 of the 79 minutes or 76 minutes of the block. So just little things that we're trying to do while also big systematic things that we're trying to do to ensure that we are helping all of our students achieve to their fullest potential.
Just like it, I'll take down the sign.
Any questions on report cards? All right, then we will move on. I think this was the Neola policy we got last meeting, the first reading?
Yeah, you had those last, take a look at.
Yep.
Jennifer,
This is just approving it.
yeah, is there anything specific that needs to be pointed out in any of the policies, or just what they had is good?
No, there wasn't anything major when we went through them. It was all either we have to follow the law and make sure that we're doing what the law is telling us or not. There was one that might be pertinent to you is just the confidentiality of being board members. Obviously, you're privy to information that even though you're parents, you only know it because you're a board member. One of the other ones that just has come up recently with us that is a part of that too is the update within the state law acknowledging that as public employees, anytime we do school business, even on our personal phones, that is public record and has to be preserved. So just those two, but again, none of it was outside of just sticking with whatever, keeping up to date with what the law says within our policies.
Is this the one that means I don't have to read voucher numbers anymore?
Yes, the consent agenda Maria was asking about that at the
Pretty
beginning. The
excited
consent
about that
agenda is in there so that those common things that we do at the beginning of every board meeting can just be a part of one vote versus having to go through and say them all.
Yeah,
So we'll have second reading in December, and then January we can start that process.
pretty
which
pumped.
will be-
I botched those numbers more than I can.
who would ever know?
I know.
All right, so, any questions on Neola policies? All right, well then I will take a motion to approve the first reading of Neola policies update 34.2.
I'll make a motion to approve the first reading of Neola policy update 34.2.
We have a motion by Guy, and
I'll
thank you
second
for
Jeff.
being on that committee, and a second by Ken. All those in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
All those opposed.
Great work, guy.
All right, we'll move on to handbook updates. Is this the one that kind of relates to
Yeah,
that?
I kind of talked about it before. In your board packet, we sent you the entire course selection book. It's in addition to our handbook. We'll talk about the handbook at a later date, but we did highlight the portions that are in addition to. So page 36 had a highlighted portion for college reading and writing. And then page 39 has a highlighted portion for the high school band and choir enrichment.
And just some background, the reason we brought the whole book to you is because Mrs. Kutzler and Mr. Crombie are working on our course selections. And when we give our book, our course guide to our parents and the kids to start choosing their courses, we wanted to make sure the new ones were in there. So we still will approve our actual handbook in the summer, the student handbook, but it's all rolled into one. So that's why you have it in front of you today.
Yeah, and I know we got these in advance. Descriptions were part of the ed committee, so thank you. I will go ahead and take a motion to approve the adjustments to the middle school, high school handbook and high school course selection section.
I'll put a motion for Jeff to approve the middle school, high school handbook / course selection.
I have a motion by Ken,
I'll second that thing.
seconded by Date. All those in favor vote aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. All right, we will take reports from our principals.
I've got Mr. Verriers, he did end up leaving today sick, so we were happy to get him out of the office.
We'll pick up his work
Yes,
if he wants to
we
leave when he's
will.
sick.
But before he left, he did share with me his report. First, he would like to thank the PBIS team for developing a theme around the holiday holiday trees. This year's theme is Trees of Gratitude. Students will place stars and ornaments around the tree, stating their gratitude towards others. He also wants to thank the literacy team for planning and organizing the Feast on Reading event this past November 5th. A huge thank you to Miss Litherland and her students for helping to prepare the main course of turkey for the event. It was great to get all the families around a table to enjoy a meal together and to learn about one another. He also would like to thank Miss Ikeda, Mrs. Roach, and Mrs. Mildebrandt Keen for joining him to meet each grade level every day and to analyze student progress within their interventions. Students who may need an intervention and students who may be dismissed from Tier 3 interventions. This collaboration helps us to support every teacher and every student who may need an additional layer of support. He also would like to thank the special education team for their work on creating an IEP template that can be used for all of our IEPs. This makes the process of our IEPs easier for families to follow along while also making sure we're being consistent in the areas that we are discussing during each of the meetings. The last thing is we would like to ask for your support to post the replacement for Donna Slotton's aide position. We gave her the good old college try to work through and readjust with our staffing, but we're hitting more roadblocks than we'd care to right now, and so we would like to post a part-time aide position from now until the end of the school year, where we will regroup, take a real close look at our special education paras and the other paras that are in our building, and to see if, not in the middle of the year, but at the start of a new school year, are there shifts that we would be able to make, or would we need to come back and ask to hire this position full-time?
Just to clarify, this is the replacement of an existing position that's in budget that we tried
Yes.
to work without, and now we're
Yep.
going to replace.
Correct.
Yep.
We gave it, like I say, a good old college try, and we got by for a few months. It's like, nah, kids need more services. We need more help. So,
Get after it.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay, yeah, I'll give you my principal's report. So Abby and I now have a standing bi-weekly meeting, just so that I'm kind of in the loop as to what things are going on, and she's teaching me a little bit more of the specifics about how we do things at Fall River, so that's kind of nice to have. Something that we're working on is making a coach's handbook. So we've had a couple things come up where I've said, what have we done in the past? And she said, I don't know, we don't have a handbook. And so we're gonna work on creating a handbook for head coaches, and in there there'll be some sections for assistant coaches and middle school coaches, just so that we're on the same page and we have consistency from season to season and year to year in expectations and how we handle things and all of those wonderful things that come along with everything that happens with athletics. So it's nice that her and I can have a time where we are scheduled to sit down together. Not that we don't meet at other times, but it's good that every other week we have this time set aside where we go through some of those items. I was lucky enough to go to a truancy intervention meeting at Columbia County. It kind of coincides with some of the conversation we had before. What was nice is it reinforced that we are doing a lot of things really, really well. It gave me an idea of a couple of things that we can change and some potential opportunities to work with some neighboring school districts. So for example, it was brought up communicating with care providers, medical care providers. So we might have the Columbia County schools come together and we would potentially send a letter to the Columbia County area doctors and NPs and all those things, just to say like, hey, when you're writing these school notes, if you could help us out and include some of these things. So instead of just one district communicating with the medical providers, it would be all the school districts coming together. So we were working on some different things with that. Kendra Hayden, Dr. Treptow, and Mr. Verrier, we've been working hard on our vertical alignment. Some of that has fallen on me to try and use some technology tools to identify some of those gaps. So hopefully we spent some time last week, I know Mr. Seichter really loved it when we worked together, to find where we may be missing some things. And a lot of times I think it happens that we are teaching those gaps, but we don't have it documented that we are teaching those gaps. And so we looked at identifying the gaps, and then do our documents support what they need to. So maybe we added something into a curriculum map, or maybe we had to adjust a rubric to identify those different things. So we did that last Friday. That came with a lot of work leading up to it, but I think we had some valuable work time together on our professional development day. And then the last one is I attended a middle school workshop with the middle school teachers, kind of that team, to look at how can we better support our middle school students specifically. So we sat, it was really nice to sit down and work together and kind of run through different ideas. And we walked away with 2.5 pages of notes, but we identified, let's start with this one thing, and then when we have this one thing squared away, we're going to move on to these next 2 ideas, just to help our middle school students in things that are unique that only middle schoolers need sometimes, because sometimes we kind of overlook them. And so it was really nice to spend the day just with that team identifying those needs. So that's what I've been up to the last month.
So last but not least, oh no, Mr. Burr's last but not least. Next, next we had our Veterans Day Assembly on November 11th. Huge thank you to all of our veterans and our current service members who were able to join us. But also big thank you to all of those that helped to make this yearly event successful. It truly is close to probably my top 3 favorite things that we do here at our school. We have the VFW involved, like Brian and his team get the gym set up with all the risers and the chairs, and I mean, it's a whole undertaking. We have student speakers there. We have the 4th grade always does some sort of a show. We've got Jennifer Schroeder and Greg Keller bring their choir and band students in to do a show, and then we close the afternoon, or actually it's the morning, off with Melissa Litherland and her culinary students putting together a dinner where we bring the community in, the veterans, the teachers come in as they can, and kind of like what Mr. Verrier said, we all eat together and we talk, and it's just a really, really great event. This year we had so many people there. I had to get on the mic and try to condense everybody together because we did not have enough seating. So one of the things that we're going to do is Mrs. Schroeder put together a running doc, and we're going to try to figure out, okay, now that we've gotten even bigger, how do we configure how we're setting things up so that we can make sure everybody has plenty of space. So it's a fabulous event, and it truly is one of my favorite things that we do. Just some quick updates. The middle school, high school staff finished their peer observations, always get a lot of positive feedback, being able to get into classrooms and learn from each other and what's working and how can I adjust my own practices to best meet the needs of my students. We had our middle school, high school pirate rally, first one of the year, this past month. And we reviewed all the extracurricular activities that are available for them so that they know, hey, let's get active, let's join something. We do that every year. And a lot of the kids get up and talk, the advisors get up and talk. And then we also had our incentive for our state testing scores. Our 8th grade and our 10th grade cohorts 1 with the largest amount of growth from last year's testing to this year's testing. So we're just trying to start a little bit of an external motivator there to just get the kids to try the best they can on those tests. I was able to attend the CTE supporters trivia night. That was a success. I think the last I heard we were between 15 and 20,000, correct?
Yeah, we had a person donate the food for the event that night, and then it's getting matched by a company. So that's going to get us close to $19,000 to $20,000 for the event. So it's a good night.
Very fun. I will say I took my survey. The trivia questions this year were a little harder than last year, because last year my team at least placed in the top 5, and this year we got nothing.
Everybody thought they were easier.
Oh, I thought they were terrible. Probably because they were more, I don't know, what do you call it?
Current events?
Like, not current events, but yeah, like those pop culture. I don't know anything about that. So that was very fun. And then the next day, so that was a very, very busy weekend. The next day, then on Sunday, I was nominated as a board member for the Columbus Area Endowment. So I accepted that nomination, and we had our celebration of philanthropy on November 9th, where I was able to give out a grant to our school and to Melissa Litherland for her Clean Plate project for her kitchen upgrades. So that was a very fun Fall River filled weekend for me. Professional development, Maria already talked a little bit about that. We spent a lot of the day analyzing our test data in the morning. Our juniors took their practice ACT, and the cool thing about that is it actually desegregates. It gives us, so for question 1 on science, this was the question, these were the potential answers, and this is what percentage of our students chose each of the answers. So the teachers could go through that and then figure out, okay, what am I missing here in this lesson that they're not getting those questions correct. And then in the afternoon, Mrs. Kutzler, thank you to you, put together, we actually used AI. We used, what is it called, Notebook LM, and we put all of their curriculum maps, so that curriculum work we've been working on the last 3 years, we dropped the maps and our learning ladders and success criteria into Notebook LM, and it printed out, well, she made it look much prettier, gave us a gorgeous document, yeah, of all of our gaps and redundancies in our curriculum. So now they're spending time going through that and figuring out, okay, am I actually teaching this and it's not in here, or I'm double, triple covering something, maybe I can add something else in. So we're working on doing that. We spent a lot of time doing that on our professional development day. Strategic plan update, I already talked to you about the vertical alignment. We are working on our family and community engagement. We are gonna do a project where everyone in our building 4K, 5, and then 6, 8, every student is going to get the same book to bring home to read, and it's a read with your kids, read at home project where families can get engaged with literacy and their students, and then there will be some activities here. So we had our first meeting on that with Mrs. Herney, and then our ELA department, Mrs. Book, Miss Lansing, and Miss Smith, and we asked Miss Holman, she was here tonight to join us as well from social studies. I also attended, per Mr. Burr's request, thank you for that. We hosted the county safety meeting on November 14th. We collaborated with county superintendents as well as county law enforcement to get together to find out what is it that we can do to ensure the safety of our students at all times, streamlining our policies, making those sustainable efforts. And I got the opportunity to show off our new door that we have. We do have a example or a sample of our new door system set up on Mr. Hartman's door over there. So if anybody is interested, when we're finished, we can show you how the new doors are gonna work once they're set up and ready to go. And I also had my first WIAA Conference Realignment Task Force meeting this past week. So it's been a very busy month for me, but it's all fulfilling work.
More conference realignment.
It's constant.
Better believe it. This one's not football though, so it's less confrontational. Football's not fun.
Every year it comes up again. Some part of the state says we need something different, and if they can work it out themselves, they'll fast track it. But if they can't work it out themselves, then they try to come up with a plan and debate it and
I
send
will
it to
say,
committee.
this is
and-
my third year, and we are seeing fewer and fewer of them, so that was brought up.
They
So
changed the
hopefully-
procedure where it's on you as districts to try to figure out your solution. So you take some ownership. You figure out what's best, what works best, instead of just someone coming in and say, we'll play God and this is what we're doing. So it's pushed the districts to work together and talk to each other and see what the best possibility of conferences should be. So it's a better process than it was when I first got involved.
When will private schools be, in the division that they actually have their school district in? So like,
What
McDonald
they have
Central
right
and Eau
now
Claire
is
isn't, planning Division 5 kids? Yeah.
the success factor, and there's a number of them that moving up, you'll watch after volleyball this year, a number of those teams that were at state won't be in that division again, they'll be up a division.
Yeah, but the kids that lost to some of those teams won't be at school next year either.
Yeah, that's the problem with it.
Yeah.
But most of those are good programs year after year after year,
No, I know, yeah,
So.
you see them,
yeah.
yeah.
So
Just
that's,
be-
I only hope with that if they're that good, they'll move up.
Yeah.
It's proven that those teams have moved up, most of them do pretty well in the next division too. There's a cross-country team that won Division III, so they got moved up to Division II. They won it the next year in Division II. They got second the next year in Division II, so now they're gonna go to Division I.
All right, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, my report, it shouldn't start with that, but that's part of my report, I guess. In my report, in your packet, I gave you the budgeting calendar. It seems funny that the budgeting for next year starts now, but it does because Andrea just attended the Baird Model Workshop, and she brought back our model. And we now are, Colleen and I are going through trying to format it, connect things. And the last thing we're debating now is how should we forecast pupil count? And then once we come up with that, we're gonna bring in these other three and say, okay, what are your thoughts now? Here's what we got so far. What do you see we should put into this? And then we should be able to get some numbers out of that to come to a finance committee that will precede the board meeting next month. And we should maybe be able to start thinking about if there is a fiscal cliff, how big is it? When's it gonna happen? We should have better numbers a month from now, so we have a more clear view of the future.
Awesome.
Oh, and the other thing I should mention is Monday, we had a very fun day, because after school, we handed out turkeys to staff. So they got their Thanksgiving turkey.
Awesome. All right.
All right, just one more note on, and I meant to send this out, I've just had a week. So on the district reports, one of the things I'd like to start building in is succession planning. So I've got a template of what have we done in the last month, what will we be doing in the next month, what are some risk concerns that we have, and just starting to build that in. It's kind of crazy, we're at 6-7 months now, and so with every month, kind of just making sure, it's interesting now, the four of you will all be in different jobs or different positions or roles next year. And so, just making sure we're thinking about that, doing it deliberately, doing it thoughtfully. I'm going to start picking at you just to make sure that we're all ready and just kind of thinking about all the things. So, I think we're doing all the things, but I just want to make sure we're having the conversation.
And we try to find out sometimes, like, you saw policy.
Yep.
Now Jennifer's in charge of policy, and the county safety meeting, she's now our designated to the county safety. So there are some of those things being handed off, but we could be more written down what's been going on.
Yep. Yeah, I had a template, it's halfway done, but just something I use at work that I was gonna repurpose for this, and we'll get it sent out, so.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, with that, we're gonna go ahead, we have, next on the agenda is to close to executive session for 19.851F. So to do that, I will go ahead and take a motion to adjourn to closed session.
I'll make a motion to adjourn to closed session.
We have a motion by Nate. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Guy. And I'm gonna go ahead and do a roll call vote. So Guy,
Yes.
Ken?
Yep.
Nate?
Yes.
Jeff is a yes. All right, well then we will take a 5-minute bio break and then we will reconvene in closed session. Confirming audio.